Alright, so I just recently graduated from MCIT, and today I'm going to be giving my full review of the program. So I'll start by sharing my story before and going through MCIT, and then answer different aspects that I think are helpful to share about. Now, as a disclaimer, these are my views entirely, and they don't represent the program or the university. I'm just speaking from my personal experience, and also there's a lot I could dive into, but I want to primarily target this towards people who are interested in applying, as well as any other aspects I think that are important. Most of what you're going to hear from me is purely anecdotal and, again, my experience, but I encourage you to check out any webinars or talk to other students and alumni from the program. All right, so kind of a timeline with MCIT is I entered in fall of 2020 and recently graduated in spring of 2023. I matriculated directly from undergrad where I studied philosophy, and at the time I was interested in the ethics of technology and wanted to actually get some hands-on experience with coding. Towards the end of my junior year, I got involved with a research lab where I got hands-on programming projects, and I decided I wanted to do this further and pursue those studies. Now, I took a couple coding classes, but I also thought to myself, I didn't really realistically expect myself to really understand all of the fundamentals of computer science. So it was a pretty far out idea to think of any other program that would let me study computer science fundamentals without having to re-enroll and get a bachelor's, which is when I eventually stumbled upon MCIT Online. Now, MCIT Online was interesting to me in that it was a fully remote program, and it was very early. By the time it was 2020 and the program started around spring 2019, I didn't know the end results of it, and I didn't know what I was really getting into, but it was only one of several programs that accepted me for graduate school. Now, going in, I was pretty excited. I took 2 courses and was not used to the workload that was offered in the program. In fact, I've mentioned in a previous video how I had to retake actually one of the courses because I found it very challenging. Now, by the beginning of the second semester, that's when I started to think about if I wanted to do an internship in the program. Again, at this time, I was thinking of doing 2 courses per semester, trying to graduate within 2 years. Now, at the beginning of the second semester, I was thinking about internships that were coming up in the summer, and I was previously thinking taking 2 courses at a time, I would graduate in 2 years. So in my second semester, when I had to retake that previous course, I decided I still wanted to take 2 new courses as well, totaling about 3 courses. And to add on top of that, I was also doing a TA-ship at that time. And to add to that as well, I was also a teaching assistant for one of the intro courses. So at that time, there were 4 commitments, and I quickly burned out, but wanted to still do 2 courses by the summer. But luckily, I applied to an internship in the spring, which started in the summer, which was actually through an opportunity by connecting with another fellow MCIT Online student in the program. So this is when I did a biostatistics research internship over the summer, which was remote. And when I did that full-time internship, that's really when I decided I wanted to take my studies part-time. Again, I talked previously about this, but starting after summer, that's when I started to take 1 course per semester until I had to finish it. Now, by this time, there were only 4 courses left out of the 10 total that I had to take, and they were all mainly electives. Now, in terms of elective choice, I mainly chose the primarily data science courses, though I did take a blockchain course because I thought I was interested in that at the time. But at that time, I knew I wanted to pursue a role as a full-time data scientist. One thing also that I was thinking about in the fall is by extending my studies, I could also get another summer internship while I was still in the program. So the fall after my first internship is when I started looking for another data science internship for the following summer. So luckily after that, I applied to a data science internship, which I secured, which later became a full-time conversion in which I'm currently working as a full-time data scientist. That role started when I had still one course left in the program, and I had the experience of working full-time while studying in the program. And now, over the span of 3 years, it's been interesting to look at how the program has changed in different ways. And one thing I'll say is that the program is very adaptive to the students' needs. In addition to that, I see that they're expanding to different programs, such as the MSc program, and continuing to develop new courses in the future. So that was a brief timeline with my experience through the program. Now I'm going to be talking about specific topics which I think represent the most frequently asked questions about the program and the results of the program. Alright, so coursework. Now, the coursework is rigorous in the program, which is something I didn't expect going in. Because the pace of the program is accelerated, because the timeline is roughly about 2 years traditionally versus a 4-year degree, a lot of content is packed into a semester. In addition to that, most of the student body has never taken a previous computer science course, and so it's very difficult and can be very challenging if you don't have this expectation. With that being said, there have been plenty of course staff and faculty and even other students who are willing to help you out and meet your educational needs. Now, another thing as well is course availability. The primary difference I see with this program versus the on-campus version or just other on-campus programs in general is the availability of courses to you. MCIT relies on its online learning framework, which develops its own courses and only has a select set that you can choose from. These courses are very much developed and tested and recorded with different content specifically for online students. With that in mind, I do think courses are developed based on students' demands, but also demands in the job market. I would also reiterate that the curriculum of the program does lean more towards teaching you fundamentals and the core courses. There's not as much opportunity to pursue electives or maybe your own interests in a technical field because the program is primarily designed for people without a computer science background. One thing to keep in mind is I don't think you should keep all your knowledge just encapsulated with the core courses. Learning technical skills can be a career-long process, and you learn lots of that on the job or through different experiences or projects or anything of that sort. All right, next is the community of the program. Now, this is where I'll say I think this is probably one of the strongest features of the program and something I find very hard to find in many other different graduate programs. The main component of MCIT students is we all nearly don't have a primary background in computer science. And because of this, you meet many different students with many different backgrounds, either professionally, personally, or where they're studying from. And I think this adds to the strength of the program. You see a lot of different people are in different stages of their career path, whether they're starting or transitioning or trying to do a completely different role. And I think that's great because you can find a niche area that you think will meet your need. Now, one possible trade-off is because of students coming from so many different backgrounds and different stages of their career or education, you might not get a straightforward answer to any of your needs. However, I feel like if you're in this situation, I would encourage you to take the initiative to start your own group or reach out to people to find the answers that you need. The community is primarily hosted on Slack, where students can talk with one another or talk with course staff and create channels based on similar interests. Another thing I'll say as well is I definitely recommend engaging with the community in some way or another. Another thing I'll say too is I highly recommend that you engage with the community in one way or another, whether it's getting help from a course staff or talking to other students or trying to find job opportunities. The value of the student community is something I didn't expect when I initially entered MCIT. All right, next I'll talk about, the name or advertising of the program when it comes to job opportunities. So the word online is not mentioned anywhere on your degree, and you don't have to put that on your resume. When I've applied to internships and jobs, I've listed the full name of the program, Master of Computer and Information Technology. And I would say probably only 1 out of 5 times when interviewing, someone may ask what that means. And I usually share it's a computer science program to it's a CS program for people without a prior background. As far as my experience goes, as long as employers can see that you're studying or pursuing a technical degree and you match certain job requirements, then it shouldn't really be an issue. All right, next I want to talk about, in general, embarking on a pursuit of a graduate degree such as this program. I always encourage applicants to take a step back and, as they're applying to the program, really define why they're applying to this graduate program, why they think it'll meet their professional or educational needs, and pretty much why are you spending the time and money to take this graduate program? Are you able to state at least some evidence that this will help lead me to a position that I am trying to pursue? In my opinion, too often I have seen many applicants or students enter a program or even a program such as MCIT Online and expect that it'll magically make their life better or give them opportunities out of nowhere. I don't think you should be spending thousands of dollars, multiple years, just because you want to go back to school based on some vague hunch that you have. There have been cases where I do see students drop out because it didn't meet their expectations or their needs, or students have completed the program and they're not sure what they want to do with it, or they really didn't want to do anything in the middle of the program. Or there have been students that have finished the program and feel like they really no longer want to use it, or it wasn't for them, and it's just another degree that has been added. Again, this is fine, and many people learn this throughout their studies or as they experience different career paths and trajectories, but I just do want to emphasize that this is an important point to consider when applying to a program such as this. So next, I want to talk about something very important, which is job opportunities, recruitment outcomes, and any other related opportunities. So MCIT is dedicated to your professional success. There are career coaches, there are career fairs, and of course, plenty of students and even faculty that help you with your job path as you progress through the program. Now, again, to keep in mind, all these resources and attention are to support you in your job search, but again, it is primarily how you want to define it, where you want to apply to, what position you're interested in, and so on. For example, with my past 2 internships, I still had to apply and interview myself. But I was very fortunate enough that people pointed me to those resources or helped me prepare my resume or helped me how to talk in a technical or behavioral interview. Now, what's also encouraging is that we're now starting to see the first handful of cohorts starting to graduate from the program and seeing their job outcomes. Based on alumni surveys, MCIT does publish the data that comes out as people have applied and what positions they've secured. And I can share that MCIT has definitely personally helped me secure my role as a full-time data scientist. Recalling back to the community with many different career trajectories, what I've seen with MCIT is mainly 3 different paths. One path is someone with no prior experience and they don't know what to do, and MCIT helps find them what position they're interested in and what they want to pursue. A second path I've commonly noticed is someone is already at a current role in a company and they want to transfer into maybe a more technical position. And the third is a general one where people know what they want to do and they go get it. They know they want to be a software engineer and they secure a role as a software engineer. So again, you don't need to have a specifically detailed plan, but I do believe that you should have some idea of how the program is going to help you get a position that you're interested in. For me, I got my full-time role from a conversion as an intern, and I did 2 internships during the course of the program. I don't think that you need an internship to secure a full-time role. There have been plenty of students who have never done an internship and just did the courses through the program and were able to secure an interview and later a position as a full-time engineer, data scientist, and so on. Other students I've seen have done an internship every semester that they've been in the program. But all in all, MCIT has plenty of resources and dedicated staff to help you develop your professional opportunities, which I have been fortunate to take advantage of. All right, so I wanted to also talk about probably the biggest component of the program, which is online. So again, the program is fully remote and it's asynchronous. It's been interesting to see the increasing trend of new online programs developing, especially at a graduate level. But I think MCIT Online stands out in that they have a wholly dedicated learning framework, course staff, and even specific online versions of courses for students in the online program. With that being said, you're not just limited to just you and your computer. Students have met up in person, and the program itself has hosted multiple recurring in-person events. In fact, I myself previously have lived near campus for a semester and have been able to take advantage of different facilities such as the library or the gym and meet local students in the Philadelphia area. But again, if online is a primary factor that you are attracted to, then you by no means have to do anything in person at all the way from meeting people to even graduating in person. You don't have to do anything at all if online is an appeal to you. I would say personally for me, it has been helpful in the flexibility of taking my studies. Over the course of the program, I studied in 3 different locations in the United States, and I've traveled, and it's just good to know that I have accessibility whenever I'm in a different location or in a different setting. I actually believe that because it's in an online format, you do get to meet more people or different people you wouldn't have met if you were just based solely on one location. With this, you can discover new opportunities or different interests that you didn't previously had. So I would guarantee to people who are attracted to the online feature and component of the program that it has been highly successful and very effective in terms of flexibility and trying to meet students personally where they're at their career stage or life stage when it comes to graduate studies. So another thing is the cost of the program. I would say the cost of the program is a lot to pay personally, but on parity in terms of the accessibility that you get, the level of coursework, the rigorousness of the program from world-renowned professors, and the caliber of the content, you do get your bang for your buck when going through this program. Now, over the course of the program, prices for the courses have increased. Fortunately, I still only had to pay the previous course price, but as the program continues to expand and the courses get more developed, this may be a trend that may continue. Now again, I don't think the increase to the price or the price itself is severe. Granted that you are given the opportunities that the program offers, but it is a factor to keep in mind if you want to pay this upfront when you're applying to the program. So I would encourage anyone who has the opportunity to, if their employer has an education benefit program, to take advantage of that. Or if you know that this will be a significant financial burden and that may affect how your studies are going, then I would encourage you to really get your finances in order before trying to pursue the program. But again, there are financial resources to help you go through the program. There have been scholarships either through the program itself or the broader university based on certain needs, financial aid, as well as different opportunities in the program to TA or coach in order to help offset the costs. So if you're applying to the program, I would encourage you to think about how valuable is this for me, and am I willing to pay up front for what this is going to get me in the future? All right, well, with that being said, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover, and the primary things I would say about the program and my experience going through it. Starting in MCIT was difficult because I knew I wanted to secure a position in tech, but didn't know how I was going to get there. I'm thankful to all the staff, all the students and faculty, and everyone else I've met through the program in helping me get the career path that I've wanted to go on. Several years ago, I couldn't imagine myself being in a full-time data scientist role, in moving in a different location, and meeting all the people I wouldn't have met normally. I've learned a lot through my courses, through life, and learning about who I want to become in the future. And for that, I want to say thank you. And I also want to say thank you to all my viewers that have gone through this journey with me as I've documented my MCIT Online experience. I first started this channel because there weren't many resources I saw from students personally speaking about the program. And so I myself wanted to document it to help people get through and manage whatever they thought was useful or particularly helpful to them. Now, this marks the end of all I have to say about MCIT Online, and I'm sure plenty of other people have their own experiences and thoughts on what they think the program means to them. I would encourage you, if you are seriously considering this program, to talk to them, different faculty and staff if possible, and the different wide available resources, webinars, and everything else on their website that they display. I'm thankful to MCIT Online and all the opportunities and people I've met through that. Now, this isn't the end. Moving forward, I'll continue to share my life and career on this channel. And if you're interested in following my personal life, follow my Instagram. But anyways, I hope these videos have been helpful to you in some way. And as always, thanks for watching.